U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on February 6 that he would skip the G20 summit this month in South Africa, accusing the host government of an anti-American agenda. Rubio's announcement comes 2 days after U.S. President Donald Trump lashed out at South Africa over land reforms aimed at redressing inequalities perpetrated during the apartheid era. In a post on X that took on the tone of Trump, Rubio said he would boycott the G20 talks of foreign ministers in Johannesburg on February 20th to 21st. South Africa is doing very bad things. Expropriating private property. Using G20 to promote solidarity, equality, and sustainability, Rubio wrote in his post. In other words, DEI and climate change. DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, has been attacked relentlessly by Trump since he returned to the White House last month. Earlier this week, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa rejected Trump's assertions that South Africa was confiscating land and said he was ready to explain his government's land reform policy to his U.S. counterpart. On Tuesday, Ramaphosa spoke with top Trump ally Elon Musk to raise concerns about disinformation being spread by the U.S. president. In the U.S., the Republican Party, Donald Trump's party, has always been concerned about ensuring that the roughly 9 to 10% white population in South Africa remains safe and unharmed so that nothing adverse happens to them. There was always an underlying fear that if the 90% black population were to rise up and demand their rights, the white population would gradually feel encircled. Interestingly, that is exactly what is happening in South Africa today. For a long time, the white population in South Africa was dominant. They controlled the land, factories, production, and everything else. But now, the current South African government is gradually buying up many of the lands held by private, white, farmers at low rates and selling them to black farmers so that they too have a means of production and some economic power. There's another point to consider. You may recall that when Israel was bombing Gaza, South Africa was one of the first countries to stand against Israel, whether at the International Criminal Court, the International Court of Justice, or elsewhere. South Africa was far ahead in challenging Israel and even cases against Benjamin Netanyahu. So, Trump has plenty of reasons to punish South Africa, and it appears that this time, the U.S. will disrupt the G20 summit completely, because if the USA isn't even participating, the overall importance of the summit diminishes significantly.